Hey, what is up everyone? In this video I want to talk about community weekends and why I feel they've become a bit stale. So this past weekend we had Season 11's community weekend and I was somewhat looking forward to it because it was a good reason to get back into the game since the season launched. However, this community weekend was a rough one. First is all the bugs and server performance issues players were facing. I will say the server issues were not as bad as previous weekends, but it was still rough. The bigger issue was the bugs and one of the worst updates Free has ever made. So for this community weekend, I was excited to do some raid voyages and increase my Athena rep. I soon found out the raid voyages were completely messed up and were not granting trading company specific treasures that you're supposed to get with them. I tried many times doing these raid voyages and roughly 50% of the time the game messed up and I did not get the expected treasure. When I did get the expected Athena treasure, it ended up being so devalued, it wasn't even worth it anymore. Look, I know inflation is getting bad, but I didn't think it was this bad yet. This clip here is with the 2.5 multiplier for the community emissary grade. For comparison, I also did the same raid voyage for Order of Souls and this was the value for that. In no world should Order of Souls or any of the other trading companies be that much higher than Athena's fortune. If you went on Sea of Thieves support page, you would see this post from them that was so vague that we had no idea what the actual treasure values were. They said they did this to make the rewards more fair. How is this amount fair at all? It's literally worthless now. Apparently there were some exploits some players were using to get tons of Athena treasure. My question is, why was this the answer? Why not ban the users doing the exploit? Or block the way they were doing the exploit in the first place. Instead, they ruined all Athena treasures for everyone for all of the community weekend. And they honestly didn't even stop the people that were doing it. Now the people that were doing the bug to get lots of Athena treasure can just do it still, but just have less value. It didn't solve the problem at all. I was very disappointed by this season's community weekend, and it made me start thinking about the issues I've had with community weekends in general. The issue for me is a lot of the celebration for the weekends are outside of the game. Now there is some cool stuff in game like the multipliers and the free emote and flag. The photo booth was also a nice touch when it was first added, but now several community weekends later, it doesn't really bring much excitement to me anymore. I understand the point of community weekend is to engage with the Sea of Thieves community, but it feels like it ends up being things that take you out of the game. Whether it's pop-up plunder or Twitch drops, these are all things that take you out of the game. Even the multiplier is dependent on people leaving to watch Twitch streams. Community weekend has the potential to be amazing, and it wouldn't require much work. Looking at the community emissary grade, it never made sense to me having it dependent on Twitch viewership. If this was really a community event, then this should be dependent on the community working towards a goal and not just putting on some Twitch streamer in the background. Each community weekend should have a goal in-game, kinda like what they did with the obsidian drapes. Don't worry, I'll get to that in a moment. But for this community weekend, in order to unlock the drapes, it was dependent on how many dive voyages the community completed. That could have easily been the way to increase the community emissary grade. That is far more engaging as a player than having to go and watch a Twitch stream. Going back to pop-up plunder, wouldn't it make sense for the map to appear in-game? It would get far more engagement from those who are actually playing on the server and make the treasure more contested. It would start acting kinda like how the Skull of Siren song was supposed to be. Having a notification that says go to Twitter to see where the treasure is, it just isn't fun. Now let's get back to my biggest issue with community weekends, and that is with Twitch drops. There are several issues I have with the Season 11 Twitch drops. First, these drops are repeats of rewards we've gotten in the past, so they weren't that good to begin with. Then just the concept of Twitch drops seems flawed to me. If Rare is going to spend time making cosmetics, those should be earnable in the game. Community weekends would be a lot more fun if instead of just turning on a stream and having to let that sit for however long, give us something actually to do. Make community weekend into more of an event rather than just some scheme to artificially boost streamers' numbers. The Twitch cosmetics could instead be used for in-game challenges that grant the rewards. I miss Sea of Thieves events of the past, like with the Fate of the Dam or Vault Raiders events. Some of these events brought special voyages, and all of them brought unique cosmetics to unlock through challenges. Now these events in Sea of Thieves are so dependent on not even playing the game, but instead just going on Twitch and sitting mindlessly watching others play. When I say all this is nothing against Twitch streamers, and if you enjoy watching these streams, that's great. I have no issue with any streamer taking part in this. My issue is with Rare prioritizing artificially inflating the numbers on Twitch to make the game seem more popular rather than doing what would actually make the game more fun. This brings me back to the Obsidian Captain's Drapes. Why do we have to complete 100,000 voyages in-game, and then to actually earn the reward for it, we have to go watch more streams on Twitch? Seriously, this is stupid, and we should be unlocking these rewards in-game. I know newer players may look at these complaints and not like what I'm saying because it's much easier just to turn on a stream rather than doing some activity in the game. And while I understand this, I would dare you to go back and look at some of the older Sea of Thieves events and look at how much we used to have to do in the game to earn these rewards. When I get one of these Twitch drops, I don't even really care about them anymore because it's not something that I earned. I just get them just to have them. With all that said, I do enjoy the community weekends we have, but mainly because of the multiplier. In general, I feel like these community weekends events pale in comparison to past events. You could even just keep the current community weekend as they are and add a gilded voyage for the weekend, and that would make it so much better and make playing the game much more fun because there would be an abundance of treasure for that weekend. But that covers my thoughts on community weekends and Sea of Thieves. How do you feel about these events compared to events of the past? Do you enjoy the community weekends more, or do you wish we go back to the way events used to be in the game? Let me know all your thoughts regarding this in the comments below, but if you enjoyed this video, it'd be great if you hit the like and subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye y'all.